Services and Homeland Security Committees and the Select Committee on China. Congressman, thanks very much for being here. Your reaction to all of this?
Well, I'm wondering if that was a proportional response. It took the eyes of the world and the eyes of America to be actually focused on the area before the Biden administration took any action against these terrorists that have apparently been launching strikes against our personnel for some time. So, yesterday I thought I heard it was, a squadron of F-15s and F-16s, and now I find out it's 2 F-16s. So I'm wondering exactly what damage was done to what, and will it actually deter these terrorist groups from continuing to attack our troops in the Middle East?
It sounds like you're skeptical, Congressman.
You think? That's because I've been a congressman here for about 3 years, and nothing that the Biden administration tells me ever pans out. Remember, I've been always telling you, Maria and everybody else, never listen to what the Biden administration tells you. Watch what they're doing. So one of the things we need to do in the Armed Services Committee is to actually get some footage of what exactly was hit, and what kind of damage was done to these terrorist groups.
Yeah, I mean, look, it certainly is getting increasingly dangerous. Do you expect the U.S. is going to have a bigger footprint in this war?
Yeah, maybe, and unfortunately so, because we shouldn't be in this situation. The only reason that we're in this situation is the continued weakness of the Biden administration ever since he took office. This administration has to go. The world is a much more dangerous place because of this administration, because of the weakness that we have shown ever since President Biden and his Secretary of State took power. And so what happened in Afghanistan was just the beginning. Now we see a war in Ukraine. Now we see a war in the Middle East. Now we see proxies trying to drive us into war. And yeah, I fear that very much. And for me, 2025 can't come soon enough.
Well, I mean, one of the issues is the readiness of the United States, right? I mean, all of this conversation about how this administration has led the military, bringing up, gender studies, et cetera, et cetera. Are we ready? Should we actually have this situation erupt? Because a month ago, the president told the world that we were running out of ammunition. Remember that one?
No, look, the one problem that we have is that we've identified really big gaps in our defense industries here. For too long, we have relied on our stockpiles, and we've allowed that industry to kind of atrophy. We need to revive that. That's why House Republicans want a much bigger defense budget to get our defense capabilities up. We need to produce more fighters. We need to do that faster. We need to produce new munitions, new weapon systems. For the first time in my lifetime, the United States is not leading in all types of advanced weapon systems. And so that's very troubling to me. We need to ramp it up, and ramp it up quick, because this world is getting to be a much more dangerous place, especially when the United States shows the weakness that it's been showing for the last 2.5, 3 years.
Well, this administration has also shown real weakness on the wide open border, obviously, and we're watching a development happen over and over again. I want to point your attention to what Florida Highway Patrol and border officials are telling us. They have arrested 17 Chinese nationals after they arrived in Key Largo by boat. The group consisted of 20 total illegal migrants, 11 adult Chinese males, 6 adult Chinese females, and 3 adult men from Ecuador. Border Protection sources telling Fox that in the first 13 days of October, agents encountered more than 2,000 Chinese nationals. This is largely military-aged men that are coming here from China. And the numbers are up, 1,300% year over year, Congressman. I know Key Largo is your district. What can you do about it? And what is your reaction to these Chinese nationals coming into America? And now we find they're coming through Key Largo by boat.
Well, the question is how many. These are the ones we caught. We know that we have over close to 2 million, if not over 2 million people that have crossed the border during the Biden administration, and we haven't faintest idea who they are. We don't know who they are, where they're going, why they're here, and how they got here. And so Again, this is the Biden administration, the utter disaster that is the Biden administration. It seems like everything that runs counter to American interests, it really interests the Biden administration to do that. And so, yeah, I'm really concerned. Look, the Chinese have established a footprint, and a pretty big footprint, in Central and South America. They're establishing much greater ties with communist Cuba. They're building infrastructure projects 50 miles from here in the Bahamas. And so why were these Chinese nationals trying to get into the United States? Again, why? What are they doing here? What is their purpose? They're all military age men, or most of them are. And so exactly what is it that they want to do? And I'm sure that maybe some of them are here for economic reasons, but I'm sure some of them are here for more nefarious purposes.
Well, I mean, that's a good question, because that's what I want to ask you. China is a communist country. Can you just get up and leave? I mean, can all those people just get up and leave, or do you need permission from the communist government Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you need permission to get out. Out of any communist country, you have to have permission to get out of. You just can't say, hey, I think I'm taking a vacation over here or somewhere. And
that's right.
And that's just not the way it goes.
Is this being directed by Xi Jinping, and what is he up to?
Well, he's up to no good. That's what he's up to. I mean, don't believe that Xi Jinping is our friend. He is our number one adversary in the world. He wants China to become the greatest economic and military power by 2049, and I think he's well on his way. And so he's up to no good. All right, so yeah, there's no question that he's up to no good. And he's not our friend.
So real quick, what can you do about it? We've got a new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, in place now. He sat down with Fox for the first interview since being elected on Wednesday. Johnson discussed where he stands on the Ukraine funding, whether it should be tied to the Israel funding. Here's a clip. Watch.
I told the staff at the White House today that our consensus among House Republicans is that we need to bifurcate those issues. And now we can't allow Vladimir Putin to prevail in Ukraine, because I don't believe it would stop there, and it would probably encourage and empower China to perhaps make a move on Taiwan. We have to make sure that the White House is providing the people with some accountability for the dollars.
So your sense of what you can do in Congress, and how will you respond to the president's request to tie all of this money in an aid package to Ukraine as well as Israel together?
I agree with our speaker 100%. I've said that before, that package has to be bifurcated, and each piece has to be voted on separately. Ukraine, the money that goes to Ukraine has to be accounted for, even though I do support the effort. We cannot withdraw our support for the Ukrainian people who are fighting for their freedom, and if we do, that shows even greater weakness on part of the United States, that we are not a trusted security partner. That being said, the money, most of it is munitions, needs to be accounted for to make sure that it's being used the right way.
All right, Congressman, we're going to be watching all of that. We so appreciate your time. Carlos Gimenez joining us.